Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another special coverage of Mayhem Manor. Mayhem Manor is happening right now down in Florida, and it is going amazing. I know they predicted rain, and what did we get? A whole bunch of great gameplay and a good source of drama, that's for sure. Join here tonight here at facebook.com/live reality games. We have Sergio. Sergio, welcome. This is your first time being here with us.
It is. Thank you very much for having me.
Now, for everyone watching at home or at work, which they should be, because of course, who wants to miss this? Sergio, tell the audience at home, like, what brings you to Mayhem? Do you have experience? Have you played before?
Yes, so I played season one as a replacement, a last minute replacement. And then I played season two. I thought about applying for season three, but I decided I'll give it a break. So I do just be a viewer this time.
Hey, and you're doing a great job. There is a open messenger out there, so if anybody that wants to jump in, definitely leave a comment in our field here, and we can get you in that group. Destiny, welcome back tonight. How's the gameplay so far from your side? Are you enjoying everything?
I'm loving all of it. I get mad that we can't see more. Give me more. I want more of it. Which is awful. I haven't left this chair and I can't tell you how long because I just want more game. Show us it all.
I know. I keep waiting for my phone to buzz, be like, "Oh, Neville's going live," or somebody else is going live. Oh, there's Matt again. Fantastic. Susan, how's your day been going?
Pretty good. I am wishing we should just suggest that they do some kind of confessional, like during that 30-minute break. Like, could somebody get them on their phones and maybe follow them around a little bit?
Our fingers are crossed. I know the staff there is struggling a little bit with the connection, but I think they've done some resources, and I think it's been working better throughout the day from what it started like in the evening. So I'm super excited to see everything that still is going on. So let's get started here. A lot of stuff has gone down. We were surprised yesterday about the, I guess you could say, tribe split. Typically, this game is played in pairs. However, this time they started it in a team-based challenge of, I think, 9 to 10 people in 4 groups. So let's just take a peek at those groups. So let's see here. Initially, we have the black team. So got to help me out here. I'm not 100% on the names if somebody wants to take this over. Who do we have?
That's Mark, Tabitha, Hannah, Matt, Bill, Marcelino. I don't know, Alex.
Dave.
Dave and Alex.
Oh, and that's what we thought the beer bros are going to be. So
that we did. We got the beer bros in there. Good job, you guys. Thank you for listening to our previous cast assessment and doing what we said. No.
It was just a recommendation. You don't have to take our opinions at all, folks. So this is all get to know the people and really make your decisions on the spot. Sergio, you haven't been with us for a kind of a cast assessment. Any of these players stick out really strong to you? I know some have been eliminated, but just from your initial thoughts about how the day started.
So Marcelino, I know he was one of my favorites going into it. I played a few online games with him, and he's a beast. And I mean, based on his performances all day today, I mean, he's in the running for it. Hannah, she's a queen. She's always killing it in comms. I was very surprised that she got out a little bit early. And then, honestly, most of Team Black I am unfamiliar with, so it was a lot of new faces for me.
And we love new faces on live reality games. Now, Susan's prediction was that people. What was you had somebody on this team? You had Mark on your final 4. Is that correct?
Mark and Hannah.
And how's that working out with you so far?
Well, 50-50, and I got 2 other players left, so.
I know I'm down to half in my fan favorite. Sergio, we'll hear from you and have you pick your top 4 for us. Initial thoughts only. I know we have some people eliminated. Actually, large chunk of them eliminated already. So let's just get into the next team here. Throughout the night, we're going to be popped in, hopefully by some special guests from the Mayhem Manor themselves. Let's see here. Our next team we have is the red team. Susan, any thoughts about the red team?
The red team had Jerica, correct? And Josh, Benner, Oh, I'm so sad Corian is gone.
Who else do we have on this team? I know there's some other people here. I'm not too
Chris,
familiar.
Nicholas, Josh, Laurel, and Jerica. Jerica's
Isn't-
also eliminated.
Isn't that Dave? Isn't the older gentleman Dave?
Yes, I believe so.
We need name tags on these people next
I
year. Name
think these are the newer tribes when they were made, because originally Dave was on Black.
I was gonna say this. I think is okay.
Oh,
Maybe he switched midday.
Yeah,
He was
they
like,
did
you know
switch
what?
here and there.
I'm not going to Team Black. I'm gonna go be Red. They're winning everything, so let me just hop
Liberty.
on over and not get caught.
yeah. The initial team of Red was dominating. I think they got 2, maybe 3 in a row. Was that right?
Mhm. 3
Yeah,
in a row.
3 in a row. Yep, they were just safe.
Now, speaking of being safe, this season worked a little bit differently. Destiny, do you know exactly how the votes are cast in this season?
So what they're doing is each team has to vote in a player, and whoever's team is safe can't. So whoever wins is safe. So no one from their team is put up for elimination or in the arena, but every other team then votes in a player. And I don't think it matters what team they vote from. I think it's a free for all, because we've seen a lot of duplicate teams kind of going in to elimination. So, and I didn't hear anything about a tie, like if 2 teams picked the same people. So I'm wondering if that's where this deliberation kind of thing is coming in, if they're talking to one another and figuring out who to put in. There wasn't enough info on that for me to fully figure out, but that's definitely how the voting's going on.
I know we have a lot of questions exactly for production about how everything's going on in the ruling here. So excited to have somebody here pop in pretty soon. Maybe shed a little bit more light of what we're missing here from the audience perspective. Next team here, we have after the mix-up or afterwards, we have what's the blue team. And by the way, I think these people color coordinated super well. I saw just the opening pics with all the team lineup. It looked amazing with everyone in their colors. So great job. And great job on the hair. Who brings blue hair dye on a vacation, right?
Literally.
Susan, thoughts about the blue team here?
Again, just like the other teams, I think they have their strengths and weakness. I mean, Peyton, Matthew Papa, Emmanuel. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. When the teams were first picked, I would have guessed that Red team would not have been first place for all 3 challenges. I'm going to be quite honest and clear. I honestly thought the other teams might have been a little bit more stronger built, but Red wasn't my pick to win all 3 challenges like that. I guess it shows anything could happen. Doesn't matter who you are, what you think. I mean, it really is the game. Like, I wouldn't have picked them to win like that.
My initial thoughts is that Black was going to dominate all day long, and I did have blue in the bottom for every challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't see. They have a lot of newer faces on this team, so the kind of that veteran status isn't there, and I just didn't see them like working together as a team, and that's what makes or breaks the difference. Is they're a very melded group, which is great for having a little bit of everything, but it's not when you need to be a team.
Now, Sergio, looks like you're sporting Team Blue right now. Is that your pick, I guess, of the season, Team Blue?
No, I was also with Destiny. Initially, I thought Team Black was the more stacked team overall. And honestly, Blue was kind of my lowest ranked team. I had White as my second team and then Red as a third, but I mean, Red was killing it there for a while, so.
Well, let's see about this next team, see if they can come back from behind. We have Team White, one of my personal favorites. I did select this team early on. I thought this was a good mix of strength, some smarts, some veterans, some newbies, and some people who are back to redeem themselves. Unfortunately, a few of them, my favorites, got eliminated early. So I'm excited to see if the ones remaining will come back for me at the end. So anybody have thoughts about Team White here?
I thought they were gonna be right there with Black. I definitely had I thought this team was going to do really well, and watching that first challenge, it was only like half of them were in it, and the other half were just like, where are these beasts of competitors that we know? They are not here today. So.
No.
Let's talk about the challenges real quick. Like, did anybody get to watch them live? I know they are streaming as best they can on the Mayhem Manor page. Did anybody check out the first challenge? Destiny, it sounds like you watched that one.
Yeah, I think it was the first one where they were all in a line and they ran to get a ping pong ball that was called out, and then they ran back and had to stand in order, and I guess the last four or whoever didn't have the right one was out. It kind of cut in and out for me, but I remember watching the beginning and like they said start and Romeo was already back with the ball. I'm like, dang, did you just have one in your pocket? Like, where did that come from? And then it was like 4 minutes later for everyone else. It wasn't that long, but it felt like forever for everyone else to kind of come in and line up. And I mean, Sergio can attest to it. I know exactly where they were in that house. That run was not close.
No,
it was not a short little run. They're running around that house to get to those balls. So, and then there's that SUV in the way. Like that probably needed to move. But it was a run for them. That's probably one of the farthest running challenges that they will have all game, aside from the chess one.
The chess.
I can't wait for that one, folks. One of my favorites to watch, at least.
Well, they did it 2v2 today as an arena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Peyton and Nate.
And
won that one. I'm sorry.
No, it was, and then Nicole and Matt. That's the arena that Matt goes out on.
Mm-hmm.
But the live challenge was cool. It was cool to see him running for these balls and to kind of figure out like what's going on, and you can just see him like, you can tell by how they were running and how they were trying to line back up. People wanted to be with their teams. They wanted to stay kind of unified, even though they weren't supposed to. So that was kind of cool. That was nice to see that people were going and keeping up with that team platform.
Yeah, I was very surprised by how quick Romeo kept getting back. Like, it was Romeo and Slade that were just zooming past everyone, and then it's like eventually everybody else would come in. I was like, dang.
And they were the same team, so I guess it must have been like whoever was at the end, because you don't get to see the end of the comp. You only get to see the beginning. So I don't know how they didn't win that challenge, because it was Romeo and Slade the whole time.
So we'll go over the elimination. So what I have here is just a screenshot of some of the players that have been eliminated. It's a little bit far behind, but we can definitely just go piece by piece and kind of talk to them and see how surprised we are to see the eliminations. I know it's kind of a spoiler for anyone that is a little bit further behind, but it is caught up to the best we can. So it's right there. Let me do a quick screen share here. There we are. So it looks like team won the first round here. The team that won was the red team, like we talked about. The red team's dominance throughout most of the entire day. So congrats, red team. But it looks like Dominique, or what does it say, Papa?
Yeah,
Nick and Alex. Mm-hmm. Any surprises from the first people selected for elimination?
I definitely was surprised that Dominique was put in so early.
Yeah, agreed.
I did think that Papa and Nicole were going to get targeted fairly early. If it was a duo thing, as a team thing, I was a little bit more surprised. But there had to have been something going on. And then I was shocked that Alex was in that first elimination. Black team is not that Alex isn't stacked, but he was last picked in the game. So clearly he doesn't have all these social connections. He was left behind. He got to pick a team he wanted to go to. There are some beast players on Black. How do you pick Alex, who nobody wanted on his team? Like, let him stay and let everybody be mad he's there. Like, here you go, buddy. So I was very surprised to see Alex in there. And then not only do you see him there, he goes into 2 or 3 more arena challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what did Alex do to you folks? Can somebody tell us what he is doing?
Well, maybe somebody can tell us. We have a special guest with here, so maybe they'll be able to enlighten us just a little bit more. We are
Quincy
welcoming
Alex.
It is Jake.
Jake!
It's me. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Jake. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you guys all?
We're just getting down to the nitty gritty here and talking about what a day it's been in the Mayhem Manor household.
Yeah, definitely. It's been super fun to follow along. I was not expecting a totally different game layout, though, so that threw me for a loop right from the start.
I feel like it's much harder to navigate.
Let's welcome Jake here. Jake, what brings you to the Mayhem Manor? How do you know about this crazy live reality game show?
Oh my gosh. Well, I knew some of the people that were on production from way back on the days of 10 Gauged. And I used to work on cruise ships. And so once I got off and I was living in Miami, I knew this game was happening. So I messaged one of them and said, I really want to play this. I hadn't played any orgs or any LRGs or anything before. And they let me come. And it was pretty nerve-wracking walking into the season 1 house. But then Ame came over to me and she gave me a glass of wine. And she said, we're playing Flip Cup, so come on over. And then I met Sergio was one of the people, and Benner was one of them, and all these, and Matt Hunt and Heather and Stephanie Daniels, and they all just kind of welcomed me in, and then now here I am. And then I played season 2 and other games, and was partners with Destiny, and it was an amazing experience.
So you've been following along with the rest of us today, I take it?
Yeah, I've been trying. I started a viewers lounge that I didn't realize was going to all of a sudden have over 100 people. Didn't expect that to happen. And then I made a graphic for myself that I shared, and I've been trying to keep up as much as I could.
You've been doing a great job so far. Nice job.
Thank you.
So we were just talking about your latest graphic that you did have up, showed the eliminated players. We were kind of talking about the first boots and how eliminations went with that. Let's take a look here. Let's bring that up. So yeah, we were just talking about how surprised we were by some of the nominees, and especially Dominique being targeted so early.
Yeah, well, I actually messaged Dominique because I was a little confused, because I think all of us in the viewers lounge were just shocked, because I was thinking, like, as a veteran, I would think veterans team up because you're going to have a target on your back. But apparently, we don't know this for sure, but it sounds like there's potential that Josh maybe threw out Dominique's name because Dominique voted for Josh in season 1 of Mayhem Manor. So there might have been a little bit of bitterness there. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's what it sounds like maybe had part of the reason for Dominique being up and then going out.
I heard maybe a very similar rumor.
Yes, yeah, I did as well.
I mean, anyone who has like met Dominique, like I think she was like a for sure fan favorite. Like all of us in the viewers lounge were like, we were upset. Like I think whether you had other people you were rooting for to see Dominique go that early when she was such an icon in season 1, like it was sad to see her go that quickly.
I mean, a lot of our favorites went pretty early. No surprise, Papa and Nicole being targeted pretty soon. They're kind of known for working together on production value for a new game coming up, Ascendance. That should be live probably next year. So it's super excited to see another game. How about this next round of players up for elimination? We have Peyton, Nate, and Matt. But Nicole and Matt saved themselves. So nice job for them, right?
So this challenge is the chess challenge that they play, and Nate actually gets the ball to pick the teams. And I'm not surprised that Nate and Peyton win this challenge. What I was surprised about is who Nate picks. If we go back into what we talked about during the cast assessment, Nate and Matt actually played a game together already. So if you already have this connection, why are you going to let it go so early? So I was very surprised that Nate went with Peyton, who is a very well-connected player, and let him go to the other side of it, and he didn't go with Matt. That was where my confusion was.
It surprised me too. And I also want to defend Nicole here too, because if it was any other challenge that involved brains in any capacity, like all of those boys would have been very lucky to have had Nicole on their team. It just happened to be the most physical, the most brutal, the most running challenge that there's been in Mayhem Manor. And for those of us who have watched, like, this is a very, very brutal challenge, and they're super lucky to have got partners. And I do want to say the one thing that could have helped them if they didn't pay attention to maybe previous seasons is, correct me if I'm wrong, Destiny and Sergio, but Vicky actually won this challenge against Ojani because Ojani wasn't paying attention to where the pieces were hidden. And so even though Vicky was behind, she actually won that. And that was the one thing that I thought could maybe save Nicole and Matt, is if Nicole was paying attention over the other boys, which I think Nicole maybe has a more brain game than maybe Nate and Peyton does. Sorry if they hear me say that. I don't mean to. Just Nicole's very, very smart.
That's
so
true.
So I did think it was interesting because they weren't out of it. There was, in the beginning of it, Matt and Nicole were winning this competition. In fact, I thought they were going to win the competition. If you're following they were ahead. The strategy that changes, however, is Matt starts throwing the chess pieces to get him closer.
Mm-hmm.
Where Nate had did it earlier, but he did it at the end, and I think he just tired him out. And so Neville actually gave us insight on there that was the worst strategy that they could have used. And had they just ran it, they probably would have won that competition. So Nicole was not a sleeper. She did not hold her team down. She should hold her head up high. She did that thing. And so I selfishly was hoping that Nate picked the wrong team there again, because I just thought that he made the wrong choice in it.
Mm-hmm. Nicole did a little bit further than what she did on the totem pole last time we saw her. So props on that, and props for not holding anybody back. We all had high hopes for her, and Nicole, don't worry, you still did us proud. It's okay. So nice job. You were out there and you did the best you could. So let's see. Looking at the next round, who do we have up for elimination? Looks like they chose Conrad, Papa again, which is surprising. They just got Nicole out. Why try to target them again? Marcelino and Alex as well. Anybody surprised by this lineup?
I was very surprised at the fact that Papa kept getting targeted even after Nicole was out. I just found it weird that, Papa's a pretty smart player. From my experiences with him, he is very calculated in the way he approaches things. And the fact that they were just, in my opinion, relying more on a physical team was just, I think, a terrible strategy to use at that point.
I think what hurt Papa in this situation is just how fast the pace of Mayhem Manor is. I'd imagine before that team swap, that when you all of a sudden have somebody come onto your team as somebody new, and with the time limitations that there is with Mayhem Manor, you just stick to the group that you have. When I look back in season 2, the only reason that Allie and Adrian even went up the first round was because there was a huge group of us talking about either putting them up, or Natasha and Jerica, and Jerica caught up to the group, so we went with the only other group that wasn't walking along with us. And I think Papa's a victim of something very similar to that. It's just that he wasn't in that group long enough to have time to make those connections and to talk to people. And when you're in a core group originally, it's easy to just stick with them if it means safety for everybody. So I think if Papa had more time, I think he for sure would have integrated and got himself in there without getting the votes.
I think it also stems from the fact, once you vote for somebody one time, once you have your name out there, it's really hard to get your name not back out there. We've seen it happen with Sergio in season 2. His name got that random vote thrown on him just to kind of screw with him. And then every round after, Sergio's name keeps coming up.
Sergio's name came up tonight again, too. So
Sergio put me up in season 2.
Uh-oh.
I did.
I saved Sergio in season 2, and it did me nothing. It got me nowhere.
Yeah. It got you sitting next to him tonight. That's where it got you, Destiny.
It got me. We also wrestled, so I get to add that to my resume. Sergio and I wrestled for some Connect 4 points. His body was all up on mine.
That was a good time. And then Jake got redemption that year.
Remind me, folks, what was the challenge? Susan, did you get to see that one, or? I know things were a little delayed today, so
The which challenge?
the last one we were talking about with Papa and Conrad, Marcelino, and Alex.
It was the Scrabble thing.
Oh yeah, I actually really
Sorry.
like that challenge.
I did
I'm not
too.
much of a speller, you guys know me, but it was a really good challenge.
Explain it to the at-home people watching. What was the challenge like?
It just had questions, or not questions, statements. So they had to run, and it's Scrabble scored points. Obviously, the Scrabble tiles, but give a word that ends in a consonant and begins in a consonant. Name a 7-letter word. Freestyle word. Just clues like that to come up with.
Oh, okay.
And
I mean,
think
it seems simple, but I mean, they only have 5 minutes to run back and forth. So it's
and they
pressure.
could only do 2 pieces at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like they could find all their words and then run out. They had to do 2 pieces at a time. And I would guess as you're running back and forth, some of the letters are removed from your partner. So you have a word in mind, and then they take your letters, and you're like, well, shoot, I need a new word. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to see.
I guess the most interesting thing after that, though, we actually heard after the fact someone did get an injury on the Mayhem Manor ground, and it happens. These competitions are physical, people trip, this kind of thing. I don't know exactly the details. Jake, you're shaking the head. Do you know a little bit more than we do here?
From what it sounds like was in round 1 when they were running up to catch the balls. It sounds like Clayton pulled a hamstring, and so he decided to pull himself out. I'm not for sure, but I can tell you the viewers lounge or the viewer chat that we have going on was like, we were all screaming like, what happened? How did it happen? What was going on? And then we got little pieces of information. I think the one thing we're a little unclear of, and maybe someone can clear it up, is how I think it was Marcelino went back in over. Oh, who was he? I can't think of his name.
Conrad?
Yeah,
also
Conrad.
eliminated in that round? Yeah.
So I don't think we're fully clear on how it was decided who went back in. We're guessing it was based on who had the most words in that challenge, but I don't think that was ever confirmed.
Gotcha.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
only time will tell, I guess. One of those final things that we'll hear from production when they are able to join us tonight. I know it is pretty late at the Manor House, and things do get kind of busy late at night. Everyone's having a good time and enjoying themselves, and which they should be. This is a Florida vacation, after all. So the next thing that happens, Marcelino is admitted back into the game, but we have a little switch up on teams. So let's take a look here. Here's the graph. I don't know. Did we have a new updated, like a team picture with the new swap? I don't think so, but
I think I did post one. I don't know if they ever approved it because again, it's like you said, it's pretty busy and crazy. But I definitely somewhere posted one with before anyone was eliminated with the 6 players on each new team. But I certainly can't remember off the top of my head.
We have someone chiming in. Let's see what they say here. It's one of our admins on the live reality games page. They say Clayton was on the white team.
Oh.
Bill was the captain of the white team and was able to select between Mark. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
I guess they did say that the captains of the winning team would have all of these decisions to make, and it was a very important role as the team captain. So that makes sense.
Well, perfect. I'm not quite sure. Yes, there was a correction between the Marcelino, but yep, we understood exactly what you were going for. So, the new team switch, and it says picked by Papa and Alex. How did that get decided that they get to pick the teams?
No,
Well,
I didn't see it either. So
I have no idea.
Alex and Papa both won the arena challenge. So I'm assuming that's how they got to choose the new teams.
makes sense.
That would make sense.
Maybe.
Let's see here. All right. Next stop for eliminations, we have Laurel, Dave, Nate, and Jerica. Now, I did see a portion of this challenge. It looked like they had to get a certain number up to 21, and they could get 4 chips, I think, from the swimming pool, if I'm correct, and they had to dive in. And the ones closest to 21, kinda.
Yeah, I can help with that. So I'm gonna shameless plug myself because I suggested this challenge a while back. This is a game that I actually made. I used to work for cruise ships, and this is one of the games that we played in the pool. And so there are numbered chips or balls, and there's a trivia question, and your goal is to find the number that's closest to the actual number as you possibly can. So from my understanding, the question that Lance asked was how many minutes does it take for light from the sun to reach the earth or something like that. But for every number they were off, they got a point. And if they reached over 21, they busted and they were out. And so Dave and Nate both chose 6, and Jerica and Laurel chose something like 31 or 29 or something like that. So they busted on the first round. So from my understanding, it was supposed to go multiple rounds, but unfortunately they picked a number that was too high over whatever that threshold was, and they were eliminated right then and there.
That's a quick one.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting one to keep watching, but I was not expecting it for both of them to get eliminated that quick.
Definitely not Jerica. Like playing with Jerica before, I was actually really surprised to see that she was out that quickly. But I think from what it looked like watching the video, it looked like she was just struggling with finding the numbers. I'm guessing, I don't think she would have chosen that number. I think she was just struggling with finding the right number that she needed to get close enough.
Mm-hmm.
She's a smart girl. Like Jerica is a smart, fierce competitor.
She was one of my top 4, so unfortunately I'm down 2 now. So there goes my Nicole and my Jerica. However, there typically is a comeback round, so I'm super excited to look forward to that. One of those ladies can definitely make their way back, I hope, as long as there is a comeback, because Jerica is known as the comeback queen in games around here, I guess you could say. So
I was surprised that Jericho was targeted so early with all of those fierce competitor, not that she's not a fierce competitor, but with all of those like running type guys in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why do you want to keep competing against that? Why are those players not who you're putting in there? They're putting in the Alex, who doesn't seem like he's running a lot. They just put in Tabby, who wasn't she's not the fastest runner. And all of these competitions have been team-based kind of running relay type things, and they're just letting them stay in the game. So I'm wondering what necessarily the strategy is behind that, or if it's all those big strong guys who are running the show and that's why they're safe right now, because that's not what we're seeing going into elimination.
I mean, kind of initial thoughts for us were usually the nicer, quieter people usually get taken out first. That seemed to be the trend. Sergio, did you think that was the trend when you played? It was more like the quieter people got targeted first?
Yeah. So on both seasons, it was always kind of more reserved players that are always targeted first. They're just kind of like, I wouldn't say like an outcast, but they're just the easiest fill because it's not going to make any ripples, long-term effects or anything because, they're so reserved. They're not talking to other people. So it seems to be still a common trend, which I don't know, because sometimes those sleepers are the ones that can make their way to the end.
And with that, Sergio, too, they're not making waves on the way out either. Like, if you put up somebody who's vocal, you know for sure they're going to drag you or somebody else under the bus on their way out or on their way to the arena challenge or whatever it is.
So I do think I found the picture of the teams after they swapped. Let me see if I can put it up here, and then we'll kind of reassess the teams as they are. I think, let's see here. I think that's the new teams. Is that pretty accurate to what they were?
Yep, that's it.
Perfect. Poor blue team, down to 4 already. That was a quick run for blue team. But white team is staying strong with 6. That's pretty good because you can always like swap someone out too. If they're not good at the challenge, you can always try to play your cards as best you can. So, any thoughts? We don't see many female players. I know there was limited in the cast to start with, but I think they're like half gone already, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Mhm. Who's left of the females? I know
Tabitha,
Yeah.
Evie,
Evie.
and I think that's it. I think there's just the two.
Yeah. Well, I think because I think this graphic that we're showing, I think a few people were eliminated the round before, because I think that's when we lost Hannah. Because Hannah at this point was in during the tribe swap, and then she got totally screwed over in that battleship challenge.
Yeah, she was given so many
Surprising.
tokens. She should have been the one who was for sure safe.
For sure.
I think she ends up taking herself out.
Did she?
Oh,
Because I know we skipped. Yeah, because anything that was a double, so she picked a bunch of duplicate slots of
yeah,
some
you're
other
right.
player, and so then those coins don't count. So she went in with 9 and ended up with only having 5, and then she's the first 2 that are selected. She just matched Nick in 2 rounds.
oh, there was one more round. So yeah, I'm trying to follow best with the pictures on the messenger group and try to just go from there. But yeah, so you were saying it's a battleship thing, and people gave tokens to Hannah.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is before the round starts, production gave every player in the game a token. And so the 4 people in the arena have one, and then every player left in the game, however many was left at this time. And they went through, and one by one, the players were allowed to go give tokens to the arena players. And so you only have one, so you can only give it to one. So they started with Nick. He went first, and he was only given 2
3 of them.
tokens. 2 people came up there and handed him a token. So he had 3 total, his own plus the 2. And then it went to Corinne, or Coran, I'm saying his name wrong, sorry. And he was given 3, I believe. So he went in with 4. And then it goes to Nate, who was given like 4 or 5. And then Hannah is given like 9.
Keeps.
Like everybody and their mom gave Hannah a coin. And like all you can hear is being like, oh, she's all right, she'll be fine, she's safe, atta girl, good girl, woohoo, like they're just cheering her on. And then the next video we see is them doing the video, and it's Josh being like, if you had a chip in this number, this number, this number, this number, this number, you're out, like they're gone. And it was all Hannah's. It was Hannah and somebody else, like every single time. So it ends up going in the game, I think it's 3, it was like 3, 2, 4, 4 or something that was left for them to find. And Hannah's just kind of picked out very quickly. So that was just some bad luck for her on that one.
Bad luck is for sure. Hopefully Lauren is not spreading only good luck here for, it looks like Lauren, our viewers, rooting for some Nate, Kytrell, and Bill. So good luck from Lauren there. So then we are taken to, like you said, the swap that I had up earlier with the new teams. Let's take a peek before we get to that next challenge, because I know we have one more elimination to talk about tonight. So let's see. And then everyone going to be back for tomorrow night. Everybody following along, I hope.
Woo-woo. We
Sergio,
have to.
Destiny, would you guys rather play this way with teams, or would you rather have done what you did with duos?
I liked that I had my duo. My duo was my rock. And he's in here, so he has to take his earphones out and not listen to me say nice things. He was my rock. On the things that I was weak with, he was able to pull me in. On the times when I was like, no, fuck them, I ain't talking to them, he was like, girl, don't worry, I'll talk to them, you go talk to these people. And so he just was like my rock in keeping it sane, where when you're in this team environment, we've kind of said already, like there's another season that was played of Shady Survivor that has been teased a little bit. There's some team rounds there. When you play in this team, you have to be like, yeah, it's okay, like we're good. sometimes your challenges suck. And if you don't have your partner to be like, bro, like, get your head out of your ass. What the hell? Focus. Follow what I'm saying. Like, I'm right here. You're going to rub a lot of people. Though I did that to Jake a lot.
Multiple times.
And I was right. So, but in a team environment, you can't do that because you're pissing everybody off. If I piss off Jake, oh, well, it's one person. He'll get over it because I just saved his ass. If I piss off my whole team, they're going to vote me out. They're going to, like, So, for my personality and for who I am, where I am very selective with who I work with and like who I like and who I want to be around, I need my partner, and I want my partner to have some teams, and I want to just there. But I did think going in that as a female, and I'm a chubby female who ain't running anywhere, I thought this environment would be easier for me. Like, I thought people would I wouldn't put it into eliminations. But that is not what this cast is doing. They don't care who goes up there. So where I thought I'd be like, yeah, they're going to let me stay holding my team back. Like, I'll be all right. That is not what they're doing. So I was wrong on that. I do. The other part that we didn't get to talk about is that Baywatch twist. So don't forget to bring that up at the end.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I keep forgetting, and I just want to talk about it so much.
Well, we can talk about it now before we get to that next elimination. So Jake's back with us now, popping back in. Folks, Baywatch.
Sorry, I was just gonna say my internet's apparently a little bit choppy. So rather than hop in and hop out, I'll say thank you for having me on, and I'll hop out and let Destiny and Sergio and Susan help you out with the rest of it.
Thanks for your help today, Jake. We love you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you all later, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Sounds good. We'll be here.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Bye.
So, Baywatch, who wants to take it? You said you want to talk about it, Destiny. I said, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I feel like I talk so much. No.
So, what podcasts are for?
I think it happens after round 1 elimination. So I don't even think that they mention it. I think the first elimination happens, and then they're like, by the way, in Neville fashion, here's a new twist. And so what he puts out is that, yes, you are in a Survivor type tribe-ish team competition right now, but you also have a bay before anyone else or everyone else or however that is that you are supposed to look out for in the game. And if you and your bay get to the end, that final competition, there is no final competition. You automatically win. You win double the prize money, and your bay gets second place. You don't get to even compete for first place. Like, sorry, bro, you get second. You were my bay. Come on, Sergio, stand where you're supposed to be, right behind me, type thing. How crazy is that? So I guess we've had a couple people, there's some parents who are kind of in the VL lounge, and they're like, hey, my son just told me who his bay is. Oh. And every time it happens, I go in all caps, don't tell anyone, because as a community, we are drama starters, and we will snitch and we will tell. And I just don't want somebody's bay to get out because their mom's like, protect Sergio, buddy, you got it. You know? But I think this is a crazy one. I think it's genius. It adds such a new level of strategy to this game that's already really hard to get through, but everyone's going to want to protect this person. But how can you protect this person? And if I find out who my bay is, that's who I'm targeting. You're not taking me to the end so I get second place and not try for first. You're out first, buddy. So I just think it's very interesting, this new crazy twist. I look forward to hearing who everyone's bay was and how it kind of came into the game. My fear is that people are like, no, this game's already too hard, and they just kind of ignored it. Yeah. And I think that would really do a disservice to this crazy twist.
Maybe see an elimination. I mean,
that's true. maybe that is some of the reasoning that you don't want to target this person, so you're going to have to choose your number 2, and number 2 is probably not the best option for you, but you just want to get them out of there to save your bay, perhaps.
Yeah, it's possible. We don't know, I guess, without somebody coming in and telling us how this is kind of interfering with the game or interjecting or strategy wise. What I have heard is there's a little group of people running the game right now. That is the rumor. And so
And what are those names?
I ain't no snitch. Nice try, Susan. I ain't no snitch.
Very
Y'all
casual.
You
We
all
did
ain't
just say we're
DMing me
starting drama.
after. Y'all ain't getting me DMs after this. Destiny. Oh, sorry. So I did hear that there was this large or small group who is running the show, and so I'm wondering if they just are like, screw this bay twist. Let's just get to the end and figure it out.
Well, I think the bay twist really harkens back to what like Mayhem Manor started with like a pair-based system. So I think the fact that they still kind of have a pair in the house, which is really nice. It's just secret now.
And then I heard that later into the game that they do kind of get down to pair-based teams. That it'll dwindle down into that. That is what is the rumor right now.
Well,
so I'm
pair-based,
wondering,
are we thinking maybe final 8 since they started with 4 different colors? Maybe take it to then?
I was thinking almost like 12. And it'd be like 6 teams of 2. But we don't know. That's also just kind of the rumor mill. There's nothing from production that made that official for us to watch out for. But that is what the cast is rumoring to be talking about. So I was wondering if that's why these Beast players are staying in the game, because you want it for your pair later versus having this kind of weaker team.
So then it takes us to the next one here. Let's see. Where was it? There it is. Actually, let's go back to that slide that we had. Do I still have it up? I don't have it up. Of course, I don't have it up. In the viewer lounge, there's lots of pictures of cats. So anybody interested in adoption, you can go to petfinder.com, adopt a wonderful cat. You guys see that, right? What started with all the cat posts? I missed that.
No clue.
No, I have a dog. We have 2 dogs. So let's see here. So here's the next lineup for before the next elimination. That is not it right there. That is not what I wanted. Go back. See? Pictures of cats.
Well, what in the world? Why are we in this? We should just be looking at these cats.
I know, right? Whatever the viewer lounge is getting into right now. I'm very intrigued. Perhaps this is some challenge that I'm not aware of.
Name that pussy? Like
No, it's going to be live game, the pet edition.
Oh my goodness. We can have our 2 dogs. We have a blind Chihuahua. I don't think they're taking any challenges from Sam, that's for sure.
I don't know. There's some blind competitions where if you can't see, you'd probably do better.
Yeah, Destiny.
Connect 4. That's the challenge that I won. I couldn't see. I was blindfolded, and I'm like, oh, good. That's when I'm my best.
The connection board doing that. That season.
No. That was season 1 that broke the board.
Okay, I was going to say, I know one of you seasons broke the board.
No, all I broke was Sergio in that competition.
Well, here is our most up-to-date lineup after round 5. I know we're getting into round 5, and then, of course, we have to talk about round 6 and a special little video that I can share here, which I think I can share audio too. Kind of new to sharing that part. But looking at the teams, we kind of talked a little bit before we jumped back. I really think my white team that I wanted to win, unfortunately, my 2 people are voted out already, is pretty stacked still. Very, very physical looking. So.
Yeah, my money's on white.
Yeah.
I think they're going to pull it off tomorrow. I also don't think that we should sleep on blue, but
they could sneak up.
Yeah, I get that they only have 4, but those 4 aren't people to like. It's not a wash. Yeah, that's not. But yeah, I'm going to put my money on white. and I'm gonna hope that they come up with something kind of cool tomorrow.
Well then, Sergio and Susan, what are we thinking?
So
Sergio.
I'm thinking, in terms of if the trend kind of continues with competitions where there's a side of like physical with like some sort of memorization type of thing, I think that's where white will prevail. But blue as a whole, I agree, is more well-rounded overall, and I think they're getting slept on. So,
Susan, you're on mute.
Sorry, my teams are spread out, so I'm not going to be rooting for teams tomorrow. I'm still rooting it for it to be
an individual game for you.
Romeo, Mark, and oh my God, I forgot my third person, Emmanuel at the end. It's getting late. My brain wander.
Well, we started with a cast of like 30-some people almost, so it's hard to keep track of them.
So I'm not team rooting tomorrow. I'm still individual rooting.
I'm rooting for everyone, actually. So, but who we can't root for are the last eliminated players. So, round 6, we had Blue finally take a win. We're looking at Alex, Marcelino, Kytral, and Tabitha in the bottom. Are we surprised at all? We did say kind of the ladies were getting targeted, so I'm not surprised to see Tabitha down there. Go Evie. She started out as one of our favorites, so good thing she's still in, holding it in. Alex, Marcelino, and Kytrell. Marcelino was nominated earlier, but found
with
his way.
Alex. It's Alex and Marcel. So I wonder if they're like a little, they know each other or something, because they continue going in together. And then against each other. They competed against each other twice, different outcomes, but so that was interesting to see. I was surprised to see Tabitha, and historically speaking, that final challenge of the day, you go first, you try to take out somebody threatening. And while I love Tabitha and I think she's a rock star, I don't think that she's this most threatening, scary player to take out of the game yet. I think they tried to take a shot too soon. And then this challenge was very disappointing to watch because we had a player quit who just they were down and they just quit and walked out. And then you saw Alex and Marcelino kind of fight it out to the end, with Marcelino coming up victorious.
So fill us in. Who quit?
Kytrell.
Oh.
It's the card sorting challenge that we've seen, I think, in season 1 and 2. And you get this deck of cards and you sort it out and you're looking to find what card is missing. And where I'm disappointed is we've seen this challenge so many times. You've seen it played. It's been an arena challenge. This isn't something new. The strategy is shown to you. Sort the damn cards. Put them in suit order. Sort the cards. And Kytrell does not do that. He just flips through the deck looking for, I don't know what the hell he was doing. And
I
then
feel like he was treating it as a missing letter thing. Like if he could view it as a whole, he would know them instead of just breaking them up into the columns.
Something, but he gets essentially, Tabby finds that first one, he stays on round 1. Tabby finds the second one, he stays on round 1. She goes to deck 3. They added these little tiny mini awful looking cards. She's halfway through that and Kai says something and he's quitting. He just quits. And you can tell he's upset with himself because he does walk away, but still just like, don't quit. You don't quit. You have no idea what's going to happen. She could have lost a card. She could have, there's so many things that could have happened. We've seen it time and time again where people come back from behind. Don't quit.
So many underdog stories in Mayhem Manor that you can't mentally check out at any point.
So that was just kind of disheartening to see because there's so many people who want to be there in your spot. Don't quit. And then after that, we get my favorite part of the day. We get my favorite part.
Okay. I have it queued up. Let's switch it over. And I think I can share audio as well. So this is a new experience for everyone here. There is the tap. There is...
Boy, you're sure living it up here, Clyde.
This one. Share audio. Let's give it a try, folks. All right. Ready?
Like, there's so many people here that have been put in, and they're like, you know what? Thank you for.
I mean, but did you guys stand up to give me a hug?
But I didn't stand up because the first person you talked to was like, are you rude?
So we have Tabby here fighting with, is that Josh? No.
Benner.
Benner.
And you can just watch his face. He's just sizzling. And you can tell, you know how you can tell he's in the wrong? Nobody else on his side is making eye contact. When you ain't did shit wrong, people are like, you're fine. You didn't do nothing. They're not looking at him. They're walking away. She's being, and they're like, Peyton's like, I ain't even going to look at you.
Yeah,
what
she's
did
like,
you do?
He's like, I want no part of this.
What did he do? You can just tell. Look at that body language. He's pissed.
Agreed.
He's caught in something. All the Bill not wanting shit to do with it. Peyton, like, don't even look at me. Can I move? Are we done? I'm moving. Santiago, I've never seen him be quiet a day in his life. He's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Benner did something, and we didn't get enough of the audio clip because obviously when it comes on, they were probably already done with whatever was happening, and they turned it on late. Something happened there. Something was called out. We hear Tabby talk about, like, why me? What are you doing? And he's making up some bullshit about other people have gone in already. It was your bullshit. Nobody cares about that. Bullshit. You're lying through your teeth. And then she talks about something about, like, coming up and congratulating, and he comes up with more BS. There's something there. I also want my $10 for calling out on my slide of who would be in the drama. Because if we rewind a week ago, whenever we did that, there was a slide that came up, and I said, this is the drama slide. The drama will come through here. And I was right.
100%, yes.
So I look forward to seeing what comes out of that, or if it rolls in tomorrow and we hear a little bit more. I was kind of hoping somebody would come on and tell us a little bit, because, like, I want all the info.
People, come on.
I want the info. So if you can tell me what has happened. From what I know, Tabby is not the person to call somebody out like that. She's not. She's very chill. Something happened. Something is going on over there, and everyone is seeing it. So what are you doing, Benner?
So maybe this will be a target next round. But quick little shout out from Ben here saying, Destiny, great job, body language expert. So
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Here.
Thank you. Oh, I'll be your body language expert. Send me all the bodies. Not dead, alive only. No.
That's totally where my mind went too. I was like, oh, autopsies. Okay. So how did this round end? Kytrell removed himself from the competition, leaving Alex and Marcelino, right? Because Tabby won that round.
Yep. And then Marcelino wins. It was close. They were like
close.
Very, very close. It was anyone's game at the end. They were both on those tiny little cards. They were both doing the dang thing, and it sucks because Alex was that was my last kind of thing that I said before in that VL. Like, what did Alex do to y'all? Like, what is it? Why? What did he do? You didn't pick him for your team. Clearly, you're afraid of him because you keep putting him in. He's won challenges before. What is happening with Alex that is happening to him? So
it must be something with that kind of secret partner thing. Maybe they have to choose him and there's no other better option. I have no idea.
They didn't know about that when they were picking teams. He was left out.
Oh, that's true.
But
assuming there's a comeback, who do you guys think is coming back out of who's been eliminated?
Oh, can we show all the eliminated players again?
Yeah. Let's pop that screen back up after.
And do you think it'll be 2 or 1?
What happened? I think last season they brought back 2, right? They had 2. We don't even know if it's a battle box. So please note that we are just speculating. We are not saying.
Assuming
Don't yell at us.
We know.
Tomorrow, somebody's mom's gonna be like, "You said."
I was watching for
Destiny
my son
started
to
it.
come
Message
back.
her.
Destiny gets enough DMs already about
I
things she's saying. So
I do. If I had to put my money on somebody coming back, I'm gonna say Hannah
Agreed.
and Laurel or Alex, depending on the challenge. That's who I would put my money on. Dominique is good at challenges, but I think she's going to enjoy the relaxation of being out of the game for so much.
Yeah.
She's been posting pictures being in the hot tub and drinking and
Living her best life.
honestly, that
and
was the next picture I was gonna pull up. Be like, hey, shout out to the first boot here, having a great time, even though she was first boot. So hey,
making the best of it. Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, or Nicole. I forget that Nicole is gone. Depending on what the challenge would be, I wouldn't sleep on Nicole either. Our battle back happened at the end of day 1. And I don't know what happened on season 1 when their battle back happened. So I was kind of expecting that if a battle back was happening, it would have happened
Tonight.
Just
right
some
now.
today. Yeah.
That's what I thought too. I figured they would go. That would be the last thing of the night. Would be the battle back.
Only because it does take out people are strategizing. So if you're out of the game and you think you're out, you're not in those strategy talks.
Mhm.
So Neville's always been very cognizant of how people work in these games. So I kind of thought if we were having this battle back, it would be happening like as we do this.
Yeah.
But we haven't heard of that. So
Not yet, unless it's gonna be like a middle of the night challenge where they run through the house with like pots and pans, waking people up.
Yeah.
Like 2 a.m. challenge, people.
Let's go.
Gotta be ready for it.
I would be so mad.
I don't see that happening, honestly, in this iteration of the live reality games. This is more of a vacation getaway. This is more of a great time. You don't want that extra stress waking up at 2 a.m. after a long night enjoying yourself. So my picks are definitely my 2 people that got eliminated. So I'm going to say Nicole and Jerica. Jerica has proved herself in a comeback before multiple times, actually. She just has something about her that is always the comeback queen. So, Jerica, Nicole, best of luck to you tonight, tomorrow, whenever, if ever it happens.
Yeah. My choice, Hannah. I had her as a partner in season 2, and she was great. She was carrying us at that point, so I know that she can compete. Jerica, she is great whenever it comes to like being in the moment. She just knows how to turn on that competitive side. So my money is on those 2.
Susan.
I'm gonna go with Hannah too, just because she's strong and fierce, and push her against the wall. She's gonna fight. But for my second, I'm gonna go with Corey, and only because I favor him. He's just so spunky, and no matter what the situation, he's never angry or mad or in discontent. And I just feel like that should be rewarded, because Lord knows we aren't like that ourselves.
Not at all.
Or me, at least. I won't speak for some of you here, although I know that's true.
As there's videos of me flipping tables, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So he should be rewarded for his bubbly presence.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts about the day? Any thoughts about maybe what's possibly coming up? I'm thinking maybe the comeback challenge will be the count to 5 minutes, open your eyes, step forward kind of challenge. Super simple, super easy to get done. So, and I haven't seen that from Mayhem Manor, but I know it's a staple in a lot of live reality games. So
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you
Okay.
go into more detail
Oh, really?
about
I
that?
was in a game in the middle of the night where they woke us up to tell us somebody came back. Looks deeply at Dustin.
Exactly.
I don't know if that'll happen here. I think because there's so much strategy and team portion of it. And mainly because right now it's just such an even number of 20. And maybe it's just like the math person in me that it's just so it's so even on what it would be.
If you do 21, that's 3 teams of 7. 4 to 3.
Oh, that's possible. And maybe they do it. Maybe they do have it come back in because somebody was. No, I don't think there's a battle back because they let players not be eliminated when somebody was left. So I think they kept the game on the numbers on which they had.
That's true.
Okay.
Because we didn't see that last time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we'll leave with this one picture of how you can still enjoy yourself after getting first boot. Like, you're
Live
on
your best
vacation,
life.
might as well enjoy it, right?
Honestly, that's the
Let's
best
see
part
here.
about it.
A viewer actually tuned in right before we leave here. Ben, who's been watching, he says he doesn't think that there's going to be a returning comp, so that should be interesting.
No shirt.
And then he says if there was,
Men, no shirt, no clothes. Free drinks.
and they didn't have a bay, it might be too much of a benefit in their favor. So
That's
Ben, that is
very
Oh,
true.
that is a
very
good point.
true.
So, maybe Ben, join us tomorrow, and you can dish what you have to think as well here live on cam with us. Sergio, Susan, Destiny, thanks for hanging out tonight. Jake, thanks for popping in
Thank
earlier
you.
too. You're all welcome back tomorrow. We're planning on same time tomorrow, so folks. So check in with us at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the latest and greatest of Mayhem Manor. With that, I am out. Make sure you